Another excuse. She wasn't answering my question. So the prince is supposed to suffer a marriage she doesn't want for the sake of his kingdom, or vice versa. The princess has got to suffer a marriage she doesn't want to be in for the sake of a kingdom, with no guarantee that them being in an actual marriage would actually make everybody happy, that maybe the people would enjoy seeing them suffer.
It happens all the time in reality. Arranged marriages happen to bring families together and bring wealth out of poverty.
As well as, I don't know, family arguments and much more, and a hatred, and plots of murder and much more. That doesn't make it right. The other students applaud me. Yay, thank you everybody, thank you. Knowing that what I was saying was right, Diana pressed her lips into a thin line of irritation, signalling my victory. Diana then stopped talking and looked to the clock on the wall, reading it quickly. This class had barely begun. Why was she looking at the time? Diana then leaned against the blackboard and smiled to us. I became worried.
You know what? School isn't important. Everyone, go ahead and head home. Take the week off.
Only the dean can give us that right. You are just a substitute teacher. The students suddenly began to chat happily or in confusion at the situation. Many thought it was a dream come true. Others knew better. Before anyone could protest her, Diana pressed a finger to her lips and counted down with her fingers in the air. 3, 2, 1. The speaker of the classroom gently awoke, giving an announcement we would never believe.
Attention students. Due to an emergency faculty meeting, we will be closing school for the remainder of the day and this entire week. Please leave the school quickly and quietly and have a good rest of the week.
She used her powers on them. Damn it! I felt the need to stop her, but how could I? How could I stop a demon in the middle of a public place? Diana smiled before gesturing to the door.
Have a nice week off. School will resume next week.
Many of the students filed out, chatting to each other about new impromptu plans. Suzu was beyond happy, but Naomi was hesitant. Before we could pack up and leave, however, Diana stepped to us.
Excuse me, little miss. I'd like you to stay a little while. There's something we need to discuss.
As Diana looked to Suzu and Naomi, she snapped her fingers, making my friends tense up.
You two can head home. Don't worry about your friend until next week, okay? If you contact her, she won't reply, so don't bother. If she contacts you, ignore her, because she's just fine.
As if on command, Suzu and Naomi left the room. I tried to march after them, but Diana stepped in my path, warning me with her eyes that if I followed, they would be held to play. I lost my two friends, at least for the week. Diana and I were alone, just like she wanted. I slammed my hands on the desk in front of me and glared at Diana. What are you doing and what are you thinking?
What? Do I not make a good teacher? I figured you should have a little lesson, so I took matters into my own hands. Really?
All I got from that was that you're really obsessed with the Little Mermaid story. And about the injustice of a princess. Though at no point during this would my character work out the connection is that you are a princess. Also, I treat royalty badly, don't I? Whatever you're trying to do won't work.
You really think so, dear? And what makes you so sure about that?
What was making me so sure? Why was I so confident? Were the boys worse this? Don't even question it. My thoughts began to fill with doubt. All of the uncertainties about this whole ordeal began to cloud my mind. If the boys were ever found out, they'd be held to pay. Was it worth it? What about Diana? What would she do to me? Would she make my parents forget about me completely? Would she ruin my friends' lives out of spite? In my gut, I felt a stone of confidence trying to fight back, but the heaviness of my thoughts began to dissolve that stone little by little. What was going on with me? I looked about Diana once again to see her gaze bore into my eyes. She was using her powers on me. What a... Yay! This time I was away from home, so I couldn't escape. Or could I? Did I want to? The way she stared at me made me feel warm and fuzzy inside my chest. I felt like melting. Then I lifted a hand under my chin and ran her thumb over my lips, licking her own. I could feel little shots of energy zip from under my skin into my chin where she'd held me.
Now, let's have a little taste of that sweet, virginal sexual energy.
I watched as she leaned in, ready to kiss me and take my energy. Half of my body felt elevated the other day. The other half completely rejected it and didn't want it to even touch me. James! Suddenly, Diana stopped in her tracks. Technically, if I wanted James to come there right now, wouldn't it make more sense to say Raystro?
James, who is...
It then dawned on her.
Ah, one of the boys. Why don't you tell me which boy is James?
I felt myself nod in compliance. The oldest. The problem here is it's the eldest. Diana giggled in reply before letting go of my face and stepping back.
Really? The eldest son with you?
I nodded once again, but this time it was part of my own decision to reply. Diana let her descend the mimicked cat's purr before stepping away from me.
All right, then. Well, if it's the eldest son you're infatuated with, you should really rethink your romantic options.
So should you. Diana chuckled before kissing my nose, where I felt a shot of energy zap out of my body, almost making me dizzy in recoil. Diana then returned to the desk and sat in the wood, crossing her legs.
You can go now. Remember, no class for the rest of the week.
And how am I supposed to get home? My two friends left me here thanks to you.
Oh, were they your ride?
Uh-oh.
My apologies. Let me help then.
Uh-oh. Diana then lifted her hand and snapped her fingers. I suddenly felt the floor sink from under me, forcing me to look down. A purple pentagram surrounded my feet, pulling me into the ground. Whoa! Before I could fight, however, I sunk fully into the floor, fading into darkness and shutting my eyes. As I opened them, I felt my silk sheets around me, soothing my anxiety from the darkness that previously surrounded me. What the... Why did Diana bring me home? Was this an illusion? Was I being tricked? Something was going on. I sat up in the bed looking around me. I was indeed in my room. There was no mistake about that. Why? Well, you said you couldn't get home, so Diana teleported you to the only place she knew where you came from, which is your room. She's already arrived in your bedroom. It makes sense that she teleports you here. Diana is too strange. Was this a game? Was this part of her plan to get the boys back? I was lost and confused more than ever, despite my logical thoughts, trying to piece the puzzle that is Diana together. The more I tried to solve her, the less I understood about the situation I was in. I was interrupted, however, by my door suddenly open, revealing the boys with Damien's hand on the doorknob.
Miss, what are you doing here?
I decided to drop into my own room.
Aren't you supposed to be in school?
I was. I frowned my eyebrows and stared at Jamie and asked him to answer the questions through my thoughts.
Diana sent her back here. She invaded her school and sent all the students back home.
What is that bitch up to? Seriously! Diana's playing around for no reason.
Maybe it's part of her plan.
The boys continued to argue back and forth about Diana, feeling an almost jealous curiosity in me. Damien seemed to be too deep within the talk to notice my thoughts, for he didn't even stop talking alongside his brothers. Why was Diana after them? Why did she want to bring them back? Why was that ridiculous story about the little mermaid so important? Why was she referring to the goddamn princess all the time? What was so important about the boys that she would travel to the human world to get them? Why would there be a war if she died? What was going on? I decided enough was enough. I needed answers. Hey! The boys stopped arguing, stared at me in surprise. I held my hands in fists on my lap, mustering the courage to continue to speak despite my abrupt shout. Why is Diana here? Why does she want to bring you all back? What exactly did you all run from? Why did you run from it?
Miss,
Don't miss me, please. I need to know what is going on. I won't be left in the dark about this. I want to know what I am facing. The boys looked at each other hesitantly, unsure what to reply. Finally, Sam pushed Damien towards the bed, making him buckle and land on his knees with his torso over the edge of the mattress.
Damien, do the thing.
Do the thing. The thing? What thing?
Sam, you're not suggesting.
Why not? She deserves to know everything, especially if Diana is targeting her.
Exactly.
Sam's right.
I guess we have no choice then.
I was getting confused. What was Damien about to do? Damien stood before climbing onto the bed with me, sitting across from me on his knees.
We're going to show you everything. You have to trust me, okay? The minute you stop trusting me, the vision will stop.
Vision?
Please, just trust him.
Guys, if I'm letting you stay with me, obviously I've got to have an amount of trust with you already, so it seems kind of stupid to say that to me. I looked to James, unsure what was going on, but I nodded. If this was the only way to learn, this was my chance to know. Damien gently placed his hand on each side of my head, gently pressing his thumb into my skin, above my eyebrows. I could only stare as his eyes began to glow gold, and energy began to be both pulled out of me and forced into my head. Within seconds, my vision went black once again, and I was unsure of what Damien was doing, but soon shapes and textures slowly began to appear around me. I found myself sitting on a stone floor in the middle of what looked like a fantasy throne room. Not mention, it's very well lit. Where the hell are the torches? We got like giant... How many people can actually fit in here?